What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the WSB YouTube channel. We are doing our 6 balls for the end of the year of 2024. This is a part 1 of 2. This will feature myself, Echo, and Jeff. And we're just going to go down the line, no particular order. I'll probably start my right and end on my left for the 6 that I chose, as you can see in front of me, for the balls that I enjoyed throwing through 2024. So to start off, we got the DNA coil. Recently this year, I decided that I'm gonna start expanding my horizons a little bit, and I was at Columbia 300 for 10 years. Big shout out to Adam Ishman and Brunswick and all those guys for allowing me to be that. But this was one of the first ones that I drilled from Storm, and needless to say, it was a home run for me. Typically, I look for controllability and where it can fit in my bag. I was looking for something for a step down from my big ball at the time, and the DNA coil really fit that spot. Send it over the lanes and see the first shot. Right, next up, we got the Radical Hitter. This ball was a big tick in the bag for me for 2024. It went everywhere with me, to tournaments, to league. Pretty much anytime I needed to have a ball that first out of the bag and I wasn't sure of the pattern, this was the one. Alright, after that we got the Deviate Verge. This one was one I thought that was very underrated for the year. I didn't see a lot of play from a lot of other people, but man, when I needed it, it was really good, and a lot of people kind of had an eye-opening experience when I would throw it later in a block, games 5, 6, 7, when the lane started to burn up, but you still wanted something more than just full pearl. This was it. Next up, we got the Columbia 300 Piranha. Had to go in the archives for this one. My original one had an old span, and I did some fit changes this year, so had to come out, drill a new one for this. Kind of cried a little bit because I wanted to hold off and wait just a little bit longer, but for this video and for you guys, I had to show it. Strong symmetric, couldn't go wrong with this one. Next up, we have the Motive Pride Liberty. I think this was my first ball that I drilled for Motive in 15 years. At first, I wasn't 100% sure. I thought the cover was a little clean for me, after it got a couple games on it. But once I hit it with some surface and re-cracked that shell a little bit, man, it was money. Last but not least, we got the Storm Summit Ascent. This ball practically goes with me to every league night right now. It will be a tournament ball for sure. I pretty much throw it all the time. And if I want something that's just a little bit weaker than my Piranha and want the similar shape, this one really ticks that spot. With that said, that is my 6 balls for 2024, and I'm going to be handing this off to Echo.
Thanks, Tanner. All right, so as we come to the close of 2024, it's time to take a look at my favorite balls from this year. It's a pretty great collection. One of the things that I really like is that it spans a variety of different brands, which is super exciting for me, that I got to throw a variety this year. And that a variety actually made my top 6, which is awesome. We're gonna start out with the Ivory Rhino Pro from Brunswick. This ball has been one of my favorite balls to throw in league since I did the ball video a few weeks ago, or a month ago, I guess at this point. It is super forgiving for me if I happen to make a mistake, which, let's face it, happens quite often. It's really forgiving. If I get it too far outside, it'll come back. If I hit it inside, it'll hold a line and continue through the back end, which is great. So this is definitely one, maybe my most favorite from the year. Let's take a look and see how it rolls. Next up is the Hypervenom from Motive. This ball is my super dependent burn ball. So once my bigger balls start to burn up the lane a little bit and get a little jumpy at the end of the pattern, this ball is, I know will get down there and get the job done. All right, next up on the list is my Magic Gem. This ball is, I think, maybe the only ball up here, with the exception of my RSTX3, which I'll get to in a minute, that I haven't done a ball video specifically as a review. I got this ball before I went to a tournament because I felt like I needed something with a little bit rounder shape that moved a little bit earlier. And as it turns out, this is one of my favorite balls. Even though I haven't specifically done a review of this ball, you've seen it in a number of my videos because of the dependent shape, and I know exactly what it's gonna do on the lane. Let's take a look. All right, moving on is my Emerge Hybrid. This ball is really great. I don't often throw it during league. It's fairly angular down lane, which is awesome for me because I don't have a lot in my arsenal that is similar to it. So particularly when I go to tournaments, I tend to throw this ball a lot because it's angular, but it's also predictable. I know what it's gonna do down lane. So let's take a look at that. Next up is the real time. If anybody watched my real time video, it may surprise you that this ball made it into my top 6. Honestly, when I did the review, I was somewhat unimpressed with it, but made some surface changes, knocked the polish off a little bit, or knocked the polish off altogether. And since then, particularly during my challenge league, this ball has been really, really great for me and has rolled really well. Let's take a look and see what it does. Last but not least, I mentioned earlier, is my RSTX3. You aren't gonna see any shots of this ball, and I'm gonna tell you why. This ball is what in the shop we refer to as my Frankenstein ball. So I'm going through the process of taking a look at my fit and experimenting with my span and my pitches and see how does changing those things affect my roll, and is there something that I can do to make my release, my bowling more consistent. So this ball has been a great addition, not to my arsenal necessarily, but definitely a great addition to my game. With all of that, hopefully you have enjoyed seeing my top 6 of the year. Looking forward to 2025 and what comes next. I will now throw it to Jeff so we can see what his favorite balls of 2024 are.
What's up, everybody? Happy holidays. I'm Jeff, and we're back to show you my 6 favorite balls of 2024 in no particular order. We're going to start off with the Radical Conspiracy with HK22. This ball is my favorite big ball of the year. In our challenge league, you get on some patterns that have some heavy oil. I can always go to this one. It is very controllable, gives a lot of hook, and I've really enjoyed throwing it. So take a look. Up next, we have the DV8 Mantra. I reviewed this ball. It had some polish on it, and so we took the polish off and I've really enjoyed this ball since then, especially on the house pattern. Super controllable, super predictable. Doesn't have that hockey stick view that I don't like. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this ball with the polish knocked off. So check it out. Up next, we have the IQ Tour. Ben's been badgering me for a little while to get one of these balls, and I finally caved in. And now I see what he's talking about. This ball is really amazing. It's one of my benchmark balls, super predictable. I really like the way that it rolls. It has great carry. So I use this pretty much on the house pattern when we're starting out and checking it out. So I actually don't have any footage of this. You've probably seen Ben throw 1,000 shots with this ball, so you can just check those out. Next up, we've got the Summit Peak. This is my favorite ball for that hockey stick motion that we're looking for. Ball gets down through the lane pretty clean, has a really strong back end. So this is my favorite ball for that type of reaction when I'm looking for that. So check it out. All right, next up we've got the new blue. This is my favorite ball when I get confused. I just grab this ball, find some dry boards, super predictable, super controllable. That's pretty much the theme of all these, it seems like. But I know what this new blue is going to do. It's not going to overhook on me. And so I always go to that when I got a problem. So check it out. Last but not least, we got the Columbia Ricochet. I just reviewed this one a couple of weeks ago and really like what I saw. So this ball might get on the list for top 6 of 2025 as well. But this ball, super smooth. It's got a lot of hook for a pro ball, and I've really enjoyed it so far. So check it out. All right, folks, that's it for me. Thanks for watching this. Stay tuned for part 2 with Joe, Jaron, and Ben. You can check out their 6 favorite balls of 2024 as well. Thanks again. Happy holidays, and like and subscribe. We appreciate it.